The Arizona Desert. Nestled in the southeast corner of the Sulphur Springs Valley, among the mesquite and creosote, lies the modest border town of Douglas, Arizona. There was a time in this town's long history when the Southern Pacific Railroad brought multifarious miners from far and wide, seeking copper treasure throughout the Mule Mountains. Today, the mines and smelting operation that were so vital to this town's economy are ever becoming a distant memory. Douglas now relies on the revenue it receives from Mexican shoppers and tourists to survive. But even though the mines are gone, there is still treasure to be found in Douglas. This is the story about a group of explorers who did not find valuables hidden deep in the mountains, but instead discovered something far more precious in a place much closer than anyone could have imagined. The culture and rich history of this place is evident, even as you cross the desert into the town itself. For centuries, this area has been the setting for many historical events, not unlike the discovery made here at the La Escuelita Head Start Center in Douglas. It was here, in the playground sandbox, where a strange nest of eggs was found by a research team unlike any other. At Child Parent Centers, we believe that children are magical and constant, curious learners. We all participate in lifelong learning, as both teachers and learners. The children's discovery only proved the philosophy to be true. Center Manager Angelica Frisbee explains how this find was made.
Children were just naturally digging in the sandbox, and they, lo and behold, kept digging, and they found some little white things in the sand. And once they dug and they found something, I wasn't actually there during the whole discovery, but through conversation, I heard that it was just like, look, teacher, look, we found something. What are we going to do? Do we keep digging? Do we leave them alone? So many questions came into play right away. And of course, children were drawn automatically to the whole excitement.
The finding of the eggs captivated the students, and teachers recognized the passion for learning the event had provoked. But before any further exploration could take place, certain precautions had to be taken.
The first thing that was thought of when this discovery was made was safety for all. And at first, teachers didn't want to touch. Children were encouraged not to touch. All thoughts came to mind. Maybe they're snakes, maybe they're tarantulas or spiders, who knows what they could be. And one of the eggs was pulled out from its nest, and when the discovery was made that they were little lizards, then everything went back to focusing on the learning that could take place.
With the Child Parent Center's philosophy, it's taught me a lot. Exactly the words that it says, that children are magical and constant lifelong learners. It's not just the children who they're talking about, but also I take it as parents and staff for the agency that we're lifelong learners. With this experience, it taught me to be able to be there for the children, not as a resource, but as a listener, and taking in that information that they are giving me, and just going from there.
The children's fascination with the eggs was seen as an incredible opportunity to support the path for learning that the students had already chosen themselves. Guiding it along a course that mirrored the curriculum served as a perfect example of the agency's philosophy put into action.
They would come in and they would check up on the eggs on a daily basis. They would check and see if they had hatched. Each child had a different theory on what was going to come out of the eggs. A couple of them thought, turtles. Others said that it would be snakes. There were a couple who said lizards. Others said a bird. Different theories. The children also experienced a lot. They would go outside, and it made them very aware of their surroundings. it kind of opened their mind on just the whole science experience.
Working as researchers alongside children, teachers co-constructed knowledge through a study of the eggs. More than a week was spent in studying the shape, texture, and number of eggs. Children drew and painted pictures of the eggs and used clay to make 3D representations of what could be in them.
They're little scientists. They have grown socially. They have grown in areas of augmenting their curiosity even more. They have learned through observation. They have also learned how to document their thoughts, and they've learned how to predict just simply by, wondering what is in those little eggs that they found.
With their research well underway, everyone waited anxiously to see what would come of the eggs. Through their study, the children learned that the eggs would need warmth to hatch, so they placed them in a sunny spot in the classroom and took them outdoors with them every day. 1 week later, the teachers were amazed to find a tiny broken egg and quickly located the small lizard that lay near it. Children were able to observe the eggs hatching throughout the day, counting lizards as they emerged from their moist shells. Everyone had an opinion about what the lizards might need to survive. The children took the aquarium outdoors with them every day because they learned that reptiles gained nutrients and energy from the sun. Children spent much of their outdoor time looking for insects to feed the lizards.
I saw that they took them as their own children, as us parents take our children. They had that responsibility of being them, the parents.
Through the art of observation, children quickly realized the small reptiles became much more active, alert, and in the minds of the small scientists, happier when outdoors. After some discussion, children agreed that the lizards should be released. They set them free the next day, though not without some sadness.
Los encontramos en la arena.
We found them in the sand, says Ariana, and we took them inside. And then we let them go. Many treasures have been discovered in and around Cochise County, but none so precious as the explorers themselves, who remind us every day that children are truly magical, and if we take the time to listen, they will lead us to places we may have forgotten exist.
Okay. Twinkle,
Twinkle, little